For years now, the rise of streaming and the COVID-19 pandemic have been hard on movie theaters everywhere. And that's no different in Dresden, Germany. Dresden, known for its art and historical architecture, has also had a rich cinema history.
I think concerning that Dresden is not huge. I think it's 500,000 people, and that is not super big for Germany. It has a pretty good movie scene, and of course that has much to do with history. It was really important for cameras, and it always had many cinemas.
Today, Dresden still has 4 big multiplex theaters and 4 art house theaters. 2 of the multiplex theaters are now closing down after not renewing their lease. But while the big chains are struggling, independent theaters and video libraries are still very much alive and an integral part of the city's culture.
We are at the Thalia Cinema. We have one single room here for screenings and a beautiful bar. So it's not only cinema, it's also coffee and cycling, but so much more. And I think most people go into the bigger cinema right around the corner, Schauburg, which is also a great place, but not a great place to stay at, to hang out at. That is definitely Thalia. We have many movie festivals here, and Thalia is always the place where people gather, especially after the screenings, where all the guests, the international guests and so on, come have a drink or two, and just connect. And that is what Thalia stands for. And that was always the central idea of this place, just that it's a place where you can hang out and watch good movies and not either or.
Like other places that depend on human connection, the Thalia didn't go through the pandemic completely unscathed.
Since COVID-19, things have changed and people needed their time to come back to the cinema. But I think we're over that already. And you can also see that financially. We're mostly, how you say in German, over the mountain.
Because they cater to the wider public as well as the cinephile community, this little establishment is still up and running.
Yeah, and we are showing films that have been released recently, but also historical films. For example, we have been curating a program together with the Filmgalerie Phase 4.
Phase 4, or Phase 4, is a little video rental store turned socio-cultural center, which is only a few streets over from the Thalia.
The pandemic was kind of a innovation engine because we and the little cinemas, we needed to get our customerships back. So we invented special screening events to offer something special to the people. And it worked. So now we have a good counterpart to the blockbuster cinema, which isn't in a good shape. And in my opinion, we have a more diverse scene like before the pandemic. For a big German city, Dresden is a small town. It's not like Berlin or even Leipzig, like other big major cities. The most people know each other by seeing them on the streets. In this quarter called Neustadt, we have the Schauburg and the Thalia cinema, and we have our place. And the people are circulating through these 3 places. So it's like a very big group of friends. Everyone knows everyone, and everyone is talking to everyone. What have you seen lately? And it's feeling like the golden days of cinema and rental shops before the streaming services. It's far away from these days still, but we are regaining this feeling and these activities.
With less than 50 video rental shops in all of Germany today, those that remain have built on the one element that streaming can't give movie watchers.
Rental shops are still very important for movie culture because you are meeting people and you can talk to them.
I come here every week because they need supporting. It's good to support them. And my wife and I, we like to watch films in the evening. I'm not very happy with the modern technology, with digital technology, and not streaming. I've never streamed in my life.
But not only the generations that grew up before streaming are passionate about keeping offline movies alive in Dresden. In a small independent cinema right at the Technological University, young cinephiles maintain a decade-old institution.
Kino im Kasten is a small cinema that is technically independent from the university, but we're always aiming for a sort of 50-50 ratio, students and non-students. But the thing that's so lovable about Kino im Kasten is that a lot of people stick around. We have people here that have been here for 10 years or so and are basically part of the furniture.
The building we are in right now was originally founded by the East German Army, and later on, after the fall of the Berlin Wall, the grounds here became part of the university, and then students came in and broke up all the rooms and found that there were the old projectors still here, and they decided to found a university cinema here. Yeah, and we are still really much taking care of it and trying to find parts everywhere to still hold them in a good shape.
What is very important about this cinema specifically, because it is still connected to the university, and because we have certain financial freedoms, we can offer much lower pricing, and that's so vital that seeing movies at the cinema is affordable for people, isn't a luxury for people, because movies are a way to connect with perspectives that you wouldn't otherwise get to know or find yourself in the characters on the screen.
Luckily, Dresden seems to have quite a few different places for anyone to connect over films.
I would describe the cinema scene in Dresden as surprisingly great. Not for nothing have a lot of cinemas in the area won prizes for their programs, because there's a lot of different types of cinemas in Dresden that you can go to. The big cinema chains that you see around kind of have to fight for their life because their target audience is the streaming audience, and they have not really that much of an incentive to go to the cinema. The smaller independent cinemas, meanwhile, do offer something that this group is not really interested in, but another group is very much so. And there's not this sense of being rivals for anything. The other cinemas are showing current art house cinema or niche cinema, if they are comparable to us. And we show movies that are a bit older, that are favorites that people want to see again in the cinema, and we support each other, and we are all connected by this love for movies and cinema and this beautiful art form.
What the Thalia, the Phase 4, and the Kino im Kasten have in common is the human connection that they offer their customers. The little niche they carved out for themselves and their sense of community have allowed Dresden's independent theaters to not only survive the pandemic and the streaming age, but to keep thriving.